Namaskar. Till now, you have understood how to download and install UiPath Studio, what is UiPath Studio, how to select the UiPath Studio profile, what is a task in UiPath, what is an activity in UiPath. You have seen how to add an activity and link them into a sequence so that the flow of activity will follow during the execution of the task by robot. You have learned about different kinds of activities like input dialog, message box, use application browser, call transaction, type into, keyboard shortcut, and click. With these activities, you can start with creating some program for robot. But before this, if you come across any error during running the program in SAP, like exception has been thrown by target of invocation, then either you can follow the link what I have shown here, and this is because the scripting in the server side in SAP is not enabled. So to rectify the error, and you have to enable the script to the server side in SAP. Open your SAP client, that is the easy access, and then type transaction code as RZ11, and there will be a new form appear. A form will be appear, and you have to put the parameter SAP GUI / user underscore scripting, and then click on the display button. It will display your profile details, and then you have to change the value, and the value will be changed by clicking on this button, this option, and this form will be arrived. And you can see my current value is true, so you have to put true for a new value if it is false, and then save it, and your scripting will run. There will be no error, in fact. As I said earlier, that while creating the project, it will create a set of files in a folder. To see the folder, there is an option in the toolbar as project. If you click on the button, a drop-down menu will appear. From there, we can select the open project folder. You can see that project was created in a folder SAP sample app 01 in the desired folder E UiPath. You can see it had created a set of files and folder containing files in the project folder named as SAP sample app 01. If you try to open the main XAML, that is the extensible application markup language, then we will see there are some lines in XML format. In fact, this is the file where our program resides. So if you find any difficulty in creating a project or unable to debug, you can send me this main XAML file for any support at my email ID. We will visit this folder in future and dive into more detail. Let us now add another activity that is called as a status bar. This one is called as status bar. Let me remove this. And let me add again. I can either add from here by typing read status bar, and here it is. Or as you know that we can drag and drop from the application and web automation and then in SAP folder the read status bar. Now if I click on this indicate element on the screen, and then I can hover my mouse on the status bar. You can see this is my status bar. Let me click on it, and the status bar has been captured. Now I want to put the message into a field. Therefore, I will click on this plus button, and then to capture the data from this read status bar, we will use this for later on. So let us click on save for later use. Say the name of the variable is message. Okay. Now let us add another activity, that is message box, and let us use the saved value, that is messages. Now let us run the program again. Now it is running. Now you can see that what I have did a wrong thing. So what I have did that we have captured the read status bar from the FP50, but my sequence of activity is different. So because the shortcut key was there to get out of this, so it's showing an error, and this could be occasionally happen. Therefore, there is another idea. Let us discuss on it, and then we will use this status bar again. And what is this? As you know that this is a flow of task or flow of actions or activities. So this must be depicted before making this program in a flow chart. So therefore, before going into further to understand the flow of activity for accomplishing a task, we must draw a flow chart on a paper or in our mind. I want to present in front of you a tool, app.diagrams.net. This is app.diagrams.net, and it is asking that where you want to save your diagrams. You can save it on Google Drive or OneDrive or in your own device or Dropbox or GitHub or GitLab, or you can decide it later on. But I used to save it into my disk. So obviously I will save it into my disk. Let me open one diagram for you. Now you can see that it is asking for to download the desktop version. So you can download it and install it. This is free of any license. The user license is free, so you can draw any kind of flowchart. This is very easy to draw. There are objects available on the left panel. You have to drag and drop these panels. If I go to the earlier video, the flowchart of the earlier video, then you can see that what we have did, we have used the application and put value for easy access, and then we have called a transaction MB50 and typed into a date, and then use shortcut, keyboard shortcut, tab tab tab, and then click the button exit F3, and then we use the keyboard shortcut tab and then enter to get out of this. So now if you want to add the sequence so that it can capture some data, so before exiting or clicking on this button, we have to add some activity. So let me do one thing. Let me get this down, and then let me delete this. It's asking for a save to change. Yes, saving the changes. And now I want to delete this, and now I want to have a enter key. So I will say I want an enter again. Either I can add enter or I can have an enter key. Now if I have some enter key, let me do it. Here it is, enter key. And so for example, if I use FB50 and then just enter on it, then there will be a value, there will be an status bar here. It will show something. Let us do such kind of things. Okay, so what I want to enter after calling this and before typing this. So I have to manage this. Let me delete this again, and let me put this downward and an enter. I want an enter here, and then I want to capture or read the status bar. So let me read the status bar. So I will just write read status. I think it is so, read status bar. Okay, the name of the activity, and then I will just read the status bar. So now my flowchart will be this, next this, and next this, and next this, and then after this whatever I want is this. So let me do it, and in between I can put my message box. So let me put my message box. So let me put my message box, and this will be my message box. Let me put this again down, and I can put any color to differentiate message box, and I can put the variable message. So let me do it, and then the flow will be like this. Okay, let me do it now. I can save this, or I can download this by export as PDF, PNG, or any version. If I download as a PDF, then I want to save it on my device, and it will just create a PDF, and then it will show this one is the file what I have created. Okay, let us go forward then. So what we have to do, we have to first, before typing anything, I have to capture this one. So what we can do, I can click on it and cut this by clicking Ctrl X, or you can do any kind of Windows operation and then put this here. Just a minute. You have to select this and then you have to copy paste, Ctrl V, and then you have to cut this again so that message box appears. So let us again select this and the message box is there. But before this, what I have to do, I have to add a keyboard sequence, that is enter. Let me record this enter, and this is here. Now let me run this and see if it's working or not. Okay, so let me run it. It's running. Now let us see, and it will capture. Now you can see that it has captured the status bar. So this is the status bar. So after creating any document, you can capture any kind of values which is appearing on the status bar. Now it's working its own, no problem at all, but it will just escape and then it's out. So you've seen that this can work very finely. So now you have understood another activity, that is read status bar. And as far as this diagrams.net, you can run it on any kind of browser, internet browser. It could be Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, or Microsoft Internet Explorer, or Opera, or any kind of Internet Explorer. Thank you for listening. This is for the day. We'll continue further. Till then, namaskar.